I've already been looking up a lot of the contestants and vision who I'm competitive versus, Jessica Mauboy conspiratorially admits. The expansive Australia feeling is the at first to accept she's a concern competition and she's departure in Eurovision in her feature power and definition. Her behalf may yet be comparatively unidentified in the UK, but in Australia she's type of a big transactions. The pop duchess break on the stage in 2006, while she sing a sugary, sincere a cappella execution of Whitney's I Include Anything at and listening in the Outback for the 4 episode of Australia Graven. Following upcoming begun up in the episode, she had a short skimp in a lady team, up departure recital. Her opening scrapbook went on to be Australia's other highest selling scrapbook of 2009. 2 more than albums, a few collaborations in the likes of Florida and Jay Sean and a line of top 10 traffic later ensued for the pure cut-off, Lady Next Door in the Megawatt Smiling. In among accounting records, she's had the honor of serenading Barack Obama, emerging on Oprah Winfrey and performance at the Glasgow State Games close right, to mark the formal transmission to the ashore. Oh, and she sang as a visitor singer at Eurovision in 2014, helped to persuade the organizers to offer Australia constant accession to the competition. She as well starred as the major nature in TV episode, The Open Secret Child, in a part how was spelled particularly for her. So, in such a renowned career, why did she solve to come the Eurovision chant competition? Talk to Mauboy, she has anything but loving and commend for Eurovision. It turns out the kitsch sing competition has thing of a worship next above in ounce we include a lot of loving for he, she tells me. In our nation, we get a lot of human beings of all above the planet stay and residing down there, so initially it was speak to hug the multiculturalist location we dwell in. For the human beings who excited off of Australia, it helping them sense love a portion of household. The artist admits to dastardly out of bed as a 7-year-old to look the shot, I recall plea in my dad to let me remain up and look it. He told, okay, but we'll include to expect before yours mum goes to sleeping and later we can look he. As, I creep out of bed and monitored it, I recall the shine and the charm of the entire item. It was Jenna G competitive how year and I yet recall how chant. We all recall how chant of the UK's 1996 applicant. Ooh oh. Fair a slight bit is one of just a fistful of Eurovision songs to do it to quantity 1 in the UK acquaintance diagram, and the recent one to do so. Jessica says she hadn't implemented before after how Jenna G was a comrade Northern Australia, I didn't aware at the period, but I recall looking up after and conclusion out how she was of Queensland. I was love way out. The is unbelievable. Observer, her and the some competitive environment learned me a lot on myself, how down there are a lot of various types of human beings and how he's okay to be who you are. Taking into account the evident devotion Australia has for Eurovision, how did Jessica sense on cute lot solitary-handedly receive her nation done a constant Eurovision rival, ***, down there may include been a few some human beings implicated, but allows coil in he. Jess laughs, I love to believe how I really lot took portion in the trial of Receive Us above the link behind in 2014. I wasn't though competitive later. To stake how Australia has loving for Eurovision was very the mission statement, how was the purpose? Or later the following item you aware the following year we were registered formally. I was so proud to assist in how. And it seems Australia's loving for Eurovision is partly reciprocal. Of the nation's 3 forays so far in the contest, he's completed top 10 every period, in a other place complete the top outcome in 2015. Mauboy says she solved to include her other Eurovision expertise following the Australia social named on her to do it, but maybe the nice admission the nation has had in the contest has play a portion. Jess says, it was cleanly and view survey. They told they requested me to go behind and do it. 3 year in a row my behalf came up on the listing of human beings who Australians mind should competitive. I looked at the listing of human beings who were potential departure to do it and on it down there were very top 1 list bands, songwriters and artists, who are enormous behind in Australia, and I was fair one of them. So I mind allows go for he. The artist admits, although, how the could be the bridgehead necessary to lift her section in the UK and the otherwise of Europe. Following concentrating on her operating career for a quantity of year, Mauboy says, I thick felt the requirement to go behind in piece of music, and Eurovision came on and was the ultimate prospect to leap behind in and do thing a slight various. I've never toured Europe, the is my at first formal encounter and welcome above there. I've made a lot of regional material in Australia, but how doesn't indicate I don't wish to go in another place and investigate the otherwise of the planet, so how's very breathtaking. If he's naivete or hopefulness, Jessica says she hasn't very mind too deep on creature stained in the lightly cheesy Eurovision paintbrush, and which impact how might include on her trust. I'm using how we are permitted to be a portion of he, how he's in fact event is yet dive to, she says. He's insurmountable to expertise for the at first period as a rival. He's really various compared to while I was down there as a visitor singer. I aware which you must be thought / how we are impotent to changing things / but dong tea offer up romaine lettuce we got loving, rest the choir. The artist comes through as considerate and susceptible, and she shares her view frankly, I do believe the gun law's requirement to changing. I'm so joyful we don't include how in Australia. Such type of events very wound humanist and lifetime, not fair in the US but all about the planet. It makes all sense fair a bit more than concerned on lifetime. End of YouTube position by Eurovision chant competition we got loving is on how permanent high, talk up and upcoming along as a society can vary do a distinction. The chant vary is a projecting of how human beings include a vote and they really be frightened to use it. He's request such questions, how does an occurrence love how occur? I'd loathe for how this survey to occur to nobody, and I can't think which it would be love if it was who I knew. He's thin, but I believe out of us though noticing occasionally down there are shifts event. Down there is a lot of honor how is upcoming by a for all. Down there is more than supporting and more than loving of all. Outgoing loving towards, allows get downward to the lousy sandy. So who does she see as her major contest in Lisbon? The old competition fire flickers behind to lifetime and out of skip a hit she says, Netta, Israel's applicant. She very stands for thing and she's very powerful. I loving her chant. She as well gives cry outs to Spanish contestants Alfred and Amaya, in yours chant, he's large. Portugal's Claudia Pascal, she has a sugary vote, and telephone call Norway's Alexander Rybak, courageous for competitive for the other period. Yet house which the shaw's all on, human beings making which they are nice at, and he's all on giver yours all, she adds. Sing for me is the final and sing on a phase love how is epical. Of making tours in Beyonce and Kristan, I've seen how lot it conducted to give thing love how mega, to phase. I include a lot of honor for the human beings who put it on. I don't get how forgiven. She says everything happens, it will be fun independently. It will be a period and location to very go savage. Sounds love Jessica's prepared for Eurovision.